Hello, I am Sydney.
And I'm Melanie.
And this is Drawntaneous.
And today we are joined by our good friends who are technically sponsoring this show now because they have given us their Yeti to borrow. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I'm Joseph.
Hi, I'm Kaiden.
And Joseph is our only patron right now, so financially supporting us as well.
MVP Joseph.
Gotta support my friends.
Alright, so Sydney, today you are drawing a Nintendo character in a medieval aesthetic.
So that's an interesting one, because obviously I'm going to draw Princess Peach, but I have to find a way to do it that's not...
Princess Peach.
Exactly, that's already...
What if you did her as a knight?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
There we go. Problem solved. Alright, today, while you're drawing, we will be talking about music. So I have some questions here for all of us. Normally it's just me and Sydney. So this will be interesting. We'll try not to talk over each other.
Yeah, this is our first official guest episode.
Hey!
All right.
So the first question, we'll just go around the non-existent table, the imaginary table here. What kind of music did you listen to as a kid?
Oh God.
Who wants to start?
I will start. I grew up in a very religious household, and I was not allowed to listen to much at all. So I grew up listening to, your run-of-the-mill Christian, good little Christian children music.
Goodness.
I listened to Switchfoot, Need to Breathe, Lecrae.
Is Switchfoot Christian music?
Switchfoot was.
What?
I'm pretty sure.
What?
I'm pretty sure they made the jump from Christian to secular music.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can believe that, because there's a punk band I listen to that's technically religious.
Which band is that?
Red.
Yes, I listen to a lot of Red. They have the same post-hardcore metal aesthetic that I like.
Same.
But then if I actually listen to the lyrics too much, I'm like, wow, this is very religious and it's strange because I am not a very religious person at
Oh
all.
my goodness.
But yeah, bands like Reliant K, Switchfoot, Red, there are a lot of bands that make good music, but if you listen to them, my favorite example would be Memphis Mayfire. They're a very post-hardcore, metalcore kind of band. Lots of screaming, which I love, but their lyrics are very religious.
And you can't forget about Skillet.
Wait,
Skillet?
skillet?
Skillet.
Like the thing you cook with?
The the Christian band Skillet.
I don't know that one, actually.
They how would you describe them, Kaiden?
So I would describe them by what I saw when I went to their concert with Joseph. I say it was the weirdest mix of emo kids and white Christian mothers that I have ever seen. There were just two different kinds of people. They're all listening to the same band. This band is very explicitly talking about Jesus, but I still look around and I see people wearing My Chemical Romance shirts.
Oh my goodness.
And just other typical emo pop punk bands. I'm like, wow, this is a clashing set of people here. It's not.
Oh my goodness.
It is not something I ever expected to see.
That is what I imagine a very similar aesthetic that you would see at a Backstreet Boys concert nowadays.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you have
yeah.
people of mine and Sydney's age and older there, and then possibly a younger crowd. I don't know who goes to Backstreet Boys concerts these days.
Wait, are Backstreet Boys still relevant?
Yeah, they released an album a couple years ago, recently, semi-recently.
Also, Jonas Brothers.
Oh yeah.
The Jonas Brothers are going to be a
Okay,
big
that
one
was
for
that was the one band that I was allowed to listen to.
Oh my goodness.
They were the first concert that I went to.
Wait, oh my gosh, were Jonas Brothers new when you were a kid?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
so young.
I know. And the only reason I was allowed to listen to them was because Nick and Joe had purity rings.
Oh my goodness.
Kevin?
I
So-
remember that
I
show!
don't
Oh my
remember about
goodness.
Kevin. But yeah, my parents were like, yes, we like that. They are good boys.
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
allowed to listen to them.
Well, all right then. Hey, Sydney, what did you listen to as a child?
So I listened to a lot of stuff that my parents would just put on the radio because we drove places a lot, we moved a lot, so a lot of Matchbox 20, Britney Spears,
Whoop.
I don't know what the band's name is, but they did that song, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Aerosmith!
Yes.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So, but like, when my personal taste started developing, I definitely listened to a lot of, like... So my first CD was Eiffel 65.
The people that did,
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's that?
Blue,
Blue.
the Blues,
Blue, I'm Blue, Dabba Dee Dabba.
Oh, okay.
the only song of theirs that's really relevant.
How dare you?
Hey, you know what?
Actually, like, so because I have their CD, I know their other songs, and it's actually fascinating that they kind of talk about how technology makes people distant and kind of mean to each other, which is
That's interesting.
true right now.
Yeah.
Wow, they
Definitely
were ahead
relevant
They're ahead
today.
of their time.
very
Yeah.
ahead of their time.
I mean, granted, they only had the one CD, so.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, most of my stuff is Disney music, anime music, video game soundtracks. My former college roommate described it as a 15-year-old boy going through puberty
Oh my
and
goodness.
finding out he's gay.
Oh my
Oh,
sweet
no.
child. I am being stared at, so I guess it's my turn to go.
I did want to ask beforehand,
Yes.
do you only have one mic track recording right now?
No, I have two.
We have 2 mic tracks.
It's
The
just
the other mic track isn't picking up any...
yes, it is. It's down there.
Oh, never mind, just kidding, I'm dumb.
It's okay. Thanks for watching out for us.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Does anybody want to ask me what I listened
Hey.
to as a child?
Hey Mel, what kind of music did you listen to as a child?
I listened to a lot of weird things because my parents had a very specific taste in music. I don't even know what you would call it because it's all 80s music for the most part. And then I can talk about like the 90s stuff I slowly got into. But it's things like my mom listened to Depeche Mode and then
it's a lot of,
Erasure.
Alternative hair bands.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, I can't even... B-52s?
The B-52s
Wait.
sound...
No, I'm not sure if it's the B-52s.
Did you was it like
Did you just do Rock Lobster?
Rock Lobster? They did...
That was in it, but I'm thinking of somebody else and I can't remember. But I'm trying to think of actual, like Take On Me was 100% in their, like, wheelhouse.
That kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Sounds like my family.
So that was a lot of what my parents listened to, and then we're starting to get into, like, Shania Twain, Celine Dion, and, like, oh my goodness. I remember there was a song called Land Down Under, specifically, that my dad liked.
I love that song.
I don't remember who did it, but I know exactly what
Yeah,
you're
and
talking
then there's also a song that was like, Who Can It Be Now? And it's basically about a break-in, and this guy with a sassy sax. It's like, Who can it be now?
about. Wait, that's about a break-in?
Yeah. I think so.
Really?
Who
Wow.
can it be knocking at my door? Go away, don't come around here no more.
Wow, you
Okay.
learn something new every day.
Maybe, but like I always imagined it as like a break-in song because like the singer is singing from a place of like fear and terror.
Oh, no.
But then as I started developing my own taste, like Sydney, I started going to like Backstreet Boys and like Britney Spears and
You know, in case you weren't aware you were gay yet.
there's this one song and I think, or this one artist, and I think her name was Emily something, and specifically there was a song about a burrito.
What?
And this was like early elementary school, and oh gosh, I'm gonna have to look this up now because it was very strange. But it was like the hot new album that all of the girls in 5th grade had to have, and if you didn't know all the lyrics,
You
then
know
you
what
were...
I suddenly remembered? I listened to a lot of stupid boy bands like that got advertised on TV, like Dream Street.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know what that is.
It's okay, no one does because
Okay.
they like faded into obscurity.
Ooh.
But like,
Well, this is a good point. Now that we're talking about music as we get older, how have your tastes changed, or how are they informed by your childhood music experience and exposure?
I'll go, because I haven't spoken much. I guess I should probably put myself out there. So, when I was a kid, so a lot of my music taste was influenced by my family as well, because, you know, when you're young, you don't know how to find music yourself. So I had a lot of the same music taste as you did, Mel, when you were a kid, where like I listened to a lot of, for me it was like Josh Groban and Rod Stewart, Michael Bublé.
Oh my goodness.
So like
Booble.
Mr. Booble. Yeah, so it's a lot of like those same like 90s style artists, but in the early 2000s era. I also, because my family is from Indonesia, we listened to a lot of Indonesian, not even Indonesian pop. It's like slow, like, you know, like it's like Rod Stewart style slow love songs, but Indonesian, where the language was so written in such a poetic way that none of us could understand it, even though we spoke the language.
Right.
But then as I got older, I started getting into anime, and so my cousin took our old 12-year-old iPod Classic, loaded it with a bunch of anime openings and ending songs,
As you do.
You had a J-pop phase.
I absolutely
also
had a
J-pop phase.
She is still in her J-pop
Oh,
phase.
absolutely, yeah. I listened to, like, One OK Rock, I listened to Spy Air, Gilgamesh,
Oh my
which,
goodness.
not just because of the bad Sakura-con commercial, look that up in your spare time.
You've shown it to me before.
It is
Oh my
wild.
goodness.
Yeah, so a lot of that music was like punky and like had a lot of, you know, electric guitars and like heavier metal sound. But as I started hanging out in public school and on my swim team with my white friends, they were like, you need to start listening to other music. So the first band that I was told to listen to was 3 Days Grace.
I have no idea who that is.
Really?
Yeah.
They're an old, like, 2005-ish emo band.
Okay.
Please don't complain at me
that's
if
my
I'm wrong.
time of, like, letting other people tell me what I should listen to. That was when I was like, oh, I am solidly in my J-pop phase where I'm listening to Gakuto and, like, Hide?
Hide.
And, like, oh my god, I owned the entire Gakuto discography. Like, I bought every single CD. Like, oh goodness. What about you, Joseph? How did your music taste change and evolve?
I did not have a J-pop phase. I had a boy band phase. I
Just
had
as valid.
Really bad boy band phase.
A really good boy band phase.
Yeah. So, I still listened to the Jonas Brothers up until they broke up.
What happened with the Jonas Brothers? Because isn't like
They ceased being
DNCE
brothers.
Yeah. So they actually didn't tell anyone until they got back together recently. There was just difference of opinion on how to handle things,
Which
and
happens.
I think there was just they were focusing too much on other things and not just being brothers having fun, and they sort of lost that, and they wanted to do their own thing until they found that again,
Right.
and then they made the one song, and they're like, hey, let's actually keep doing this. So
Because that one song, the first song they released, Sucker, was a bop.
So good.
And I cannot stop thinking about it. And I didn't even have a Jonas Brothers phase. But listening to that song is like, yeah, you know, I could get down with some Jonas Brothers.
yeah.
I hear a lot of like boy band music, and I'm like, I don't know who this is. Is this Jonas Brothers?
Yeah.
Is this 1D? I have no idea.
Yeah.
They sound the same.
They do, and now that there's, I don't know any of the ones that have come out recently. It's been a long time since I was in my boy band phase, but, other than that, oh god.
Jesus. I can't get over your Toad's little face. I don't know if you guys can see that.
It's so
I love that.
cute.
It's such a good style. I love this.
I want to punch him.
Why? He's a friend!
He just looks like the kind of guy you want to get under your arm and just like noogie really hard.
You know, that's like how you made enemies in that one D&D game.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's not music related, so we're going back to music.
Let's stay on topic here.
I started listening to more of what my mom listened to, you know, when we were in the car and stuff, which was like the Monkees, the Beatles, stuff like that. I listened to a lot of 80s music growing up, other than the Christian music as I got older. But on my own, I really just listened to like boy bands and then some Disney music, and then specifically, I don't know if it's on just one soundtrack for one movie or if all of them did this, but I rented a CD from the library that was a Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack.
Tight.
And
That is a good soundtrack.
Yeah, and the last 6 songs were like a dance remix, like an
Oh.
electronic
What?
remix of some of the
Wait,
songs.
was this the first movie's
I think
track?
it was the first movie's track, but I can't remember.
Okay,
I
that
need
was
to
not
s-
part of my disc that I got.
I
And
need to see this.
I listened to that so much. It was like my cleaning music.
That's pretty rad.
It was just my getting pumped music. You know, I would
Nice.
listen to it when I was doing homework and stuff. But yeah, I didn't honestly I didn't listen to a lot of music growing up. You know, compared to what I do now, I really read a lot of books.
How about you, Sydney?
So, when I was hitting adult high teenager phase, I didn't get to
High
pick.
teenager. I'm sorry. I love that phrase. It's like low teen and high teen, and then adult. I'm sorry. Continue.
I wasn't allowed to pick the music because the rule became you got to pick music when you were the driver.
Yep.
Yep.
Same in my family.
And my brother drove me everywhere, and he was having his phase of everything that I don't like is garbage. And also, blasting bass so loud that I could not hear myself think.
Just like feeling it in your chest.
And I would be like, hey, this is giving me a headache, can we stop? And he would be like, whatever, you're making it up. Because,
What up? Hey, Travis, stop being a jerk to your sister.
10 years
Yeah,
ago.
Travis.
Just in case you're listening.
But anyway, when I got to college and I got my own laptop, I was allowed to listen to anything, but it was mostly Disney and Broadway soundtracks because those were the only things I'd really been exposed to.
Oh yeah.
Because I saw, you know what? It was mostly Rent. 'Cause
I was gonna say.
in the middle of my queer awakening.
I love Rent.
Rent's
Rent is
good.
so good.
Yeah, Kaiden had me watch Rent and did not warn me about the ending.
No.
Oh no!
And
I'm
she was like, no,
sorry.
you're gonna love this. It's so good.
Oh.
And I'm like, is there anything that I should know beforehand? And she's
Actually-
like, no, it's okay.
So another musical I was really into in high school was I actually watched it again recently. Reefer Madness.
You've been on a kick about Reefer Madness.
It's important and relevant. It's about censorship and racism and Republicans being shitty.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
times really haven't changed, have they?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and also Alan Cumming's the main character, and he is beautiful.
Cumming.
He's very attractive
Oh.
in it. He plays Satan at one point, and he gets into an orgy with the main character.
What?
Oh,
As
okay.
Satan.
Yeah. It's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's great, because that's what weed does to you.
Yeah.
So that was a
okay.
musical I really enjoyed.
That's amazing.
I had a pretty, solid musical phase as well, but it was, classical musicals. So, a lot of Andrew Lloyd Webber, which now I'm just horribly bored of. But,
It's because he's boring.
no, I want to say it was mostly Andrew Lloyd Webber before I got Taste.
That doesn't surprise me, honestly.
Damn.
That's all the classic
It's
old
so
musicals.
boring. Yeah, if you look up Broadway musical, he's his musicals are the ones you find. It's Andrew Lloyd Webber and Les Mis and maybe a West Side Story, and I'm sure there's others. But
See, and that's why I didn't like a lot of other musicals besides Rent, was because I got used to, musicals being fun.
yeah.
Although
yeah.
when In the Heights came out when I was in high school, so that was also,
Oh. Oh, it's so good.
I
missed that release. I wish I had known about it earlier. Do you
Oh.
guys know about In the Heights?
No, I don't.
It's
you would love
Lin-Manuel Miranda's first musical.
which was an immense success. And because of it, he got to go to the White House where he performed the opening to Hamilton while he was still
He
writing.
was like, this
Yes,
is just a little
I
thing
saw
that
that.
I was
yeah,
writing.
so he was supposed to be performing stuff from In the Heights when he went to the White House.
In the Heights is getting a movie, so I'm very excited about
Yes.
that. I can't wait.
I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. He's
a genius.
a
He's
creative
incredible.
genius, and he also listens to the same podcast
Yes.
that
I
that
know
we
it's a
listen
secret.
to. It's not a secret anymore.
They're like friends.
I interact with him sometimes in the my brother and me appreciation group, and it is weird because I'm like, wow.
You're famous.
I'm like,
why am
wait.
I talking to you?
I'm like, wait, you're Lin-Manuel Miranda. How am I talking to you about this
The
podcast?
internet is the great equalizer in
Oh, it's
some
incredible.
cases. Oh goodness.
It's really fun. He is a very fun person.
I
Not
would love
shocked.
to take him to karaoke and just
Yes.
Yes.
But In the Heights was his experience growing up in New York, pretty much,
Oh.
in the audio, and it's just so good.
I definitely cry during some songs. Like, whenever they come through Seattle again, I will buy tickets. Unfortunately, this last season of musicals in Seattle have been really rough on us because we basically want to see everything.
Yeah.
And we have to pick and choose. And unfortunately, In the Heights did not make it because we saw Wicked and we saw Come From Away and we saw Hamilton. So it was just like...
Okay, yeah, Hamilton is important.
Hamilton, well, we got
in the
getting-
lottery for Hamilton.
to buy the tickets, not even just like
Not
to
the
win
not
tickets,
the
to
cheap
buy
40
them.
tickets, like to just buy them.
It's
so,
that's it's that popular.
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we pretty much accepted we'd never get to see it,
And then we did.
and then we did, and it was
What
fucking
was
boss.
I'm trying to think. Let's see.
I would love to see a performance of Reefer Madness.
I know you would, but I don't think they're bringing that back, Sydney. I'm sorry. I'm trying to. I've interjected and like talked about my musical evolution. We had the musical phase. We talked about J-pop. From J-pop, I actually went to K-pop.
Yeah,
So,
I remember that transition.
I went really hard into Girls' Generation and FX specifically.
Yes.
I have learned that my K-pop phase, it's not a phase, I still like
Yeah,
I still like K-pop. I'm not a stan of
Well,
anybody. I just
both-
like what I like.
Both of the people that we were following in K-pop have begun American
They've done their own
careers.
American careers. I'll get to that. That's like a whole nother episode I want to do on just Tiffany and Amber. But oh my god, I
How
love
gay
them both so
we-
much.
How gay we are
Oh,
for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically K-pop was just me being very, very gay and not realizing it. And I'm like, I only really like the girl bands. Oh, it's because I'm super gay and I really like watching them dance. And they sound amazing and they're so
they are in
talented.
sexy outfits.
And they're so beautiful.
like that one Girls' Generation where they're in the bondage gear, and it's like,
oh,
I have
yeah,
feelings.
You Think. That's the song You Think with the leather, and it's so good. Oh my goodness. So good.
I like the one where they beat a guy up.
Yes. That was Lionheart. I love how
They beat up a dude in a lion suit. It's awesome.
it's excellent. I'm trying to think of what else. K-pop.
You've been listening to a lot of Lizzo.
I've been listening to a lot of Lizzo. I've been listening a lot. That's actually that's the next topic. That is, who are artists that you've recently got into, and like what do you like about their music? So I will go ahead and get started because we're already talking about it.
Please.
So like,
This is just like my life with Mel, is her talking about her music.
What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about.
so I'll just go ahead and throw it out there. We love Amber Liu and Tiffany Young.
I hope you're watching this, Amber.
Amber, we got to meet Amber. We went to Amber's concert last year, and
LA.
oh my goodness, it was so lit. It was so good. I suffered through 4 hours of immense foot pain just on like adrenaline of being there, and then I realized I need to have a seat from now on when I go to a concert, because standing on concrete for 4 hours is not good for you.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Do not.
I know.
We're gonna cut that part out because Colin's being a butt. Do you need something?
No, I'm just...
Okay, go away. You're blocking our air.
Yes, mother.
Where is it? Okay, so we went to Amber's concert, and Amber's music is just really fun. Tiffany just started her career in the US about a year or two ago, and it was excellent. It was excellent. It is excellent. I'm also listening to Kim Petras. She is a German songwriter who's very much in like the Kesha vibe, like early Kesha of just like bops, and they're so good. And then Lizzo. I very much enjoy Lizzo and her very soulful music. And we're going to do like a quick rapid fire through this
let's
last
do it.
question, and then we'll wrap up with Sydney talking about what she has drawn so far. So let's just go to my left.
What's the question again?
The question
What are you
is,
listening to now?
What are we listening to now?
recent artists you're really into, and then maybe like a quick, like, why do you like them?
Not super recently, but within the past couple of years, I discovered Mystery Skulls.
Okay.
And I discovered them when their music video came out for Ghost. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
how
yeah.
everyone
Yeah,
discovered
that's how
them.
everyone
Yeah.
discovered them.
I don't know who these people are.
So-
Sure you do. They do like the head bopping animated music videos that I'm super into, with the blue girl and the orange guy and the pink ghost. If you haven't seen it yet, I will remedy it soon.
Okay.
So I got really into that. I don't even know how to describe it because
It's fun techno.
yeah, it's just really fun techno.
Good beat.
Yeah, good beat.
Real good beat.
We've
Makes
seen
you feel really good.
Kaiden and I have seen him live twice together and met him both times. He is a total sweetheart.
It's just one dude?
It's just one dude.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, just
And-
one dude, and he's a total weeb too. He's
Excellent.
it's incredible.
I have seen him 3 times. The first time I went, he had anime scenes playing in the background while he played his music.
Oh, bless.
And my
Yep.
friend gave him a Evangelion poster, and he signed stuff for us, and he's like, yeah, thanks, Matt. That's really great. I love this. Like, why? He's just the sweetest, honestly, and I'm glad we got to see him
He's
so
a super
much.
genuine person. But anyway, Kaiden.
So surprisingly enough, with all of the pop punk emo music I listen to, I've actually gotten really into like lo-fi beats and also like
Yes.
just really chill folks. So
Lo-fi beats to chill and steady too.
yes, absolutely. So the
I
two
love
artists that I'd plug at this point, I'd say Evie.
I think I've heard of Evie.
Evie does lo-fi music. It's really relaxing. I listen to that while I'm in the shower. I listen to that while I'm sleeping. It's really easy. There's not a lot of like harsh noise, and sometimes like when I'm feeling low, harsh noise is a bit too much. So something like that is just really relaxing. And the folk music I've been listening to is a lot of Iron and Wine, actually. They're not, I mean, like, it's not really anything new, but I mean, it's just, I like relaxing music with well-written lyrics, and it's easy to sleep to. And I guess recently my discovery has just been with what can I listen to in the background while I'm depressed,
Right.
or while I'm trying to fall asleep.
Fun fact, the easiest way to put me to sleep is put on the Hamilton soundtrack when I'm trying to go to sleep, and I will be out by the time my shot gets halfway through. Just for whatever reason. It's like, all right,
It's like,
I've listened to it enough. It is
Knocked
now
out.
background music and I can sleep through it.
yes. Sydney?
So I've kind of been listening to the same music for like the past 10 years with like occasional new things, but literally just last night I discovered I think he's Japanese artist he kind of does butt rock, and that's what I'm into. So he's called Yokio, and like he's been doing a couple songs in English, and the one I was watching has a vampire aesthetic to it. So
That was wild. I saw that over your shoulder. I'm like, what is happening?
it was a wild ride, but like I like his style of music. It's very Fall Out Boy butt rock. And that's
Nice.
my thing. Sonic music. That's my aesthetic. I love Sonic music. You shit, but City Escape is like the best bop of all time.
City Escape is excellent, and I do not shit on City Escape. Alright, so we're about at the time limit. Sydney, tell us what you've been working on. Walk us through it.
I drew
his face.
I drew my Nintendo wife as a knight. I love her so much.
I love your toad.
I
The
love him
toad
too.
really pulls it. So cute.
He looks like a character out of Steven Universe, honestly.
Yes!
Just with
The
how
eyebrows.
The face,
how excited.
yeah.
Yeah.
The shape, the face shape, which is heart shape, which is Steven Universe's
Yes.
literal
Yeah,
design.
absolutely. I love this.
Alright. So I guess that is
It's a good place to wrap up.
it, yeah. So thank you for tuning in. We will see you next time.
Yep, and if you want to see more of Sydney's art, you can find her on Twitter and Instagram at CCLunaArt. You can also support us on Ko-fi and Patreon at CC Luna.